Under Section 30C of the Therapeutics Good Act, the Secretary of the Commonwealth Department of Health must seek advice from the Office of Gene Technology Regulator on the safety and efficiency of any product which uses GMO as defined by the Gene Technology Act. Do you have any evidence where the Secretary has written to you asking for advice on the safety and efficacy of the COVID-19 vaccines?
Thank you for your question, Senator. Dr. Rajbula, Gene Technology Regulator. Rajbula, Gene Technology Regulator. Where the particular vaccine involves a GMO, there's reciprocal arrangement, if you like, for OGTR to seek advice from the TGA in terms of a risk assessment around that GM vaccine and vice versa. So the TGA may also request advice from the OGTR. And
have you got documentation of that?
For GM vaccines, yes.
Where they've written to you for Pfizer?
No, because the mRNA vaccines were not regulated. They're not required to be regulated through the OGTR.
Did they write to you and actually ask you that question?
No, because they're not required to be regulated through the OGTR.
But how would they know? Because you're the expert. And by the way, gene technology involves both replication and transcription.
Yes.
Yeah, which is what the mRNA vaccine does.
The mRNA COVID-19 vaccines did not involve any step of genetic modification.
They produce proteins.
GMO,
sorry, Senator Rennick, could we just allow Dr. Buller to finish her answer,
or
please?
GMO, which meant that didn't require regulatory oversight by the OGTR.
Yeah, okay. Well, I dispute that. Look up Gene Technology. But anyway, thank you.
Senator Rennick, Senator Rennick, is that your last question?
Yeah,
are we happy to dismiss that agency?
I think the witness, I just don't think we need to patronise witnesses in that way.
Gene Technology.
Senator Rennick, to tell the Office of the Gene Technology Regulator to look up gene technology is patronising and disrespectful.
I would remind all senators.
Anyway,
replication.
I just think it reflects poorly on the Senate.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Buller, for your attendance today. We appreciate it.
Authorised G. Rennick, LNP Chermside.
Thank you, Chair. We've got the Office of Gene Technology Regulator here. I have a Pfizer document here from their own website. It says...
Table that or circulate it so
those who
know what we're talking about.
Gene therapies are a delicate and intentional process encapsulating the desired gene. Manufacturing gene therapies is challenging and it requires certain steps, including transfection. That is on Pfizer's own website. I'm happy to table that. Actually, I'll just read one other thing, sorry. And then I have also from the website of the American Society of Gene and Cell Therapy, because the vaccine, it's referring to the COVID mRNA vaccine, introduces new genetic material into cells for a short period of time to induce antibodies. It is a gene therapy as defined by the American Society of Gene and Cell Therapy. And then the TGA's own Pfizer non-clinical report, page 19, says the proposed commercial scale manufacturing process includes use of linearised plasmid DNA template for mRNA production. So we've now got Pfizer themselves who admit that the mRNA vaccines for gene therapy. The American Society of Gene and Cell Therapy admits the mRNA vaccines are gene therapy, and we've got the TGA themselves admit the DNA was used in the manufacturing process. Why wasn't the actual mRNA vaccine tested for genotoxicity, and why didn't the Office of Genetic OTGR Therapeutics look at it in terms of a gene technology?
Okay, Dr. Rajbula, Gene Technology Regulator. Thank you for your question, Senator. I think the first part about the genotoxicity, that question has been asked before because the Therapeutic Goods Administration was the approving authority for the vaccine products. That is a question for TGA on genotoxicity. In relation to your question around manufacturing, I think it's useful to put a bit of context around that, in that the committee is aware the mRNA COVID-19 vaccines were fully formulated and imported into Australia, which meant that there was actually no manufacture of the mRNA or the vaccine product itself here in Australia. If indeed the mRNA was being manufactured here, and it's correct that gene technology was used in the modification of the mRNA, then under the Gene Technology Act, an approval would have been required for that manufacturing step.
Oh, well, that contradicts what you've said previously. You've said previously
No.
gene therapy and gene technology wasn't used. Now you're saying because it was produced in another country that you're not responsible for checking the gene therapy
So the
side
Gene
of it.
Technology Act
Gene technology.
doesn't reach into manufacturing in other countries.
But it still involves transfection here. It goes in, it transfects cells of Australian citizens.
No, I disagree with that.
Well, that's what Pfizer say. Even they admit transfection is a part of gene therapy.
No, Senator.
So you're disagreeing with Pfizer, the people who actually made the vaccine, that transfection isn't a part of gene therapy.
I think she's disagreeing with you at the moment.
Well, it's not my
Senator
words. I've just read out what Pfizer said.
Welcome to my world.
I think it comes down to a definition of what is a gene therapy.
Yep, that's right. And I'm relying on the manufacturer. But anyway, that's all.